Have you ever wondered how far jealousy can push someone? How one small seed of anger, if left unchecked, can grow into something deadly? Today, I want to take you back to the very beginning, before cities, before kingdoms, before nations, when the world was still fresh and young. And in that new world lived two brothers whose story teaches us a lesson humanity still struggles with today. This is the story of the first murder in history, the story of Cain and Abel. Cain and Abel were the sons of Adam and Eve, the first family on earth. You can imagine how quiet the world must have been back then. No noise, no crowds, no technology, just nature, the sky, and the presence of God that still felt close. Cain, the older brother, worked the soil. He was a farmer. Abel, the younger brother, cared for sheep. He was a shepherd. They were different, but they were brothers. They grew up together, worked side by side, and shared the same simple life. One day, both brothers brought an offering to God as a sign of their devotion. Cain brought some of the crops he had grown. Abel brought the very best lamb from his flock. God looked with favor on Abel's offering because it came from the heart, because it was his best, because it cost him something. But Cain's offering, God did not accept, not because he hated Cain, but because Cain gave something, not his best. And with that moment, a dangerous feeling started rising inside Cain, not just disappointment, not just sadness, but jealousy. God saw what was happening in Cain's heart and warned him gently. He told him, "Why are you angry? If you do what is right, you will be accepted. But be careful, sin is crouching at your door. It wants to control you, but you must rule over it." It was like God was saying, "Cain, don't let this feeling grow. Don't let it take over you." But Cain didn't listen. Instead of dealing with his heart, he let jealousy take root. And jealousy turned into bitterness. Bitterness turned into anger. And anger grew into something dark. One day, Cain said to his brother Abel, "Let's go out to the field." It sounded harmless, just two brothers taking a walk. But out there, far from anyone, far from any help, Cain's anger finally erupted. Before we continue, if you're enjoying this journey so far, I'd love for you to take a moment to support this channel. Go ahead and like this video, share it with someone who might need this message, and subscribe so you won't miss any of our upcoming Bible story animations. Your support helps this channel grow and brings more of God's Word to life in beautiful, meaningful ways. All right, now let's step back into the story. In a moment of rage, in a moment of total loss of control, Cain attacked his own brother, and Abel, gentle, innocent Abel, died at the hands of his own flesh and blood. The first murder in history didn't happen in a war. It didn't happen between strangers. It happened inside a family. Later, God came to Cain and asked a powerful question. "Where is your brother Abel?" Cain knew exactly what he had done, but instead of admitting it, he answered, "I don't know. Am I my brother's keeper?" It was a lie, but it was also a cold attempt to avoid responsibility. God replied, "Your brother's blood cries out to me from the ground." Nothing could be hidden, not the crime, not the guilt, not the truth. God told Cain that because he shed innocent blood, the ground he used to farm would no longer produce for him, and he would become a wanderer, a man without a home. And suddenly all Cain's anger turned to fear. He cried out, "My punishment is too great. Anyone who finds me will kill me." But even then, God showed mercy. He placed a mark on Cain, not to punish him, but to protect him, so no one would harm him. Even in judgment, God showed grace. This story is thousands of years old, yet it feels incredibly modern. It reminds us that jealousy is dangerous when we don't deal with it. Cain didn't become a murderer overnight. His anger grew slowly, day by day, until it controlled him. Many times, the real battle is not outside. It's inside. It reminds us that we are responsible for how we treat each other. When Cain asked, "Am I my brother's keeper?" the answer is yes. Yes, we are. It reminds us that God sees the heart. Abel gave his best. Cain gave something. What matters is not the size of the gift, but the sincerity behind it. And it reminds us that even when we fail, even when we fall, God still offers mercy. Cain faced consequences, but God did not abandon him. So the question for us today is not the same question Cain asked. Instead of asking, "Am I my brother's keeper?" maybe we should ask, "How can I be a better brother, sister, friend, or neighbor today?" Because at the end of it all, we are each other's keepers. Thank you for staying with me all the way to the end of this powerful story. If this animation touched you, inspired you, or taught you something new, please take a moment to like, share, and subscribe to this channel. Your support helps us bring more Bible stories to life, stories of faith, hope, courage, and redemption. Follow this channel, spread the word, and together, let's keep the light of God's Word shining brightly. I'll see you in the next story.